you live long enough, a lot of stuff. Somebody you love gonna break up with you. Long enough, we'll go through a period of feeling so overwhelmed that you think of one more thing. If the phone rings one more time, if I get another text, if I get another email, and sooner or later you feel, oh God, just get me out of this. If somebody came and knocked you down, boom, and ain't nothing you can do about it. But if I come back a week later and you're still on the ground, we got a problem. And some of you say, Eric, it ain't my fault. You're right. The way you were born, what happened to you is not your fault. But doggone it, you're still on the ground after 20 years. You have absolutely nothing to do with what happened to you. It's not your fault. You got knocked on the ground. You had absolutely nothing to do with that. And I'm not blaming you for that. But if I come back a week later and you're still on the ground, that's your fault. If I come back a year later, you still on the ground, that's your fault. If you Woo! Good morning, dreamers. Rise and shine another blessed and grateful day. Shane and Talina, Johnny in the building. Cedric, what is going on? It's great to see you, fam. Hope you've all had a great start to the day so far. We've got the journaling knocked out, the reading, the gratitude, the visualizing. So it's been honestly a great one so far. And today's topic is another good one. We're going to be getting into how to dive into how to stay in flow state. So I'm excited. This is going to be a good one. Let me know what is a little bit of gratitude down below before we go ahead and get locked and loaded for today. How's everyone feeling? What are we grateful for? And let's go ahead and get started. Love it, love it. Getting into flow state. Awesome, awesome. IG is tapped in. We are live. Love it, fam. So grateful to be on here. So thankful for God. So glad to be growing every single day. That's what life is about, right? We're either growing or we're dying. So even 1%, 1/10 of 1%, it adds up. I'm telling you, the compound effect is more real than any of us will ever know. I'm grateful for finally a break from the rain, right? Sheesh, this weather was getting crazy. The flooding over here, we literally couldn't even get over to some spots in the Cape. Em, it's good to see you. Yeah, so definitely glad to have some better weather back here. That's why we came down to Florida, to get out of that gloomy, that ugly up north weather. So glad to be able to see the sun. So happy to be inside of all these group chats. I'm talking about from the 75 hard. I'm seeing all the level ups to the e-commerce chats, to the trading, to the crypto. Fam, this is the time for us to go ahead and make the most of 2024. Jojo in the building. It's good to see you. Love it. Awesome. So let's go ahead and get into today's topic, right? Today we're talking about getting into flow state. And if there's one thing that I've really been able to go ahead and learn over these past couple of years is this, right? Strategy, state, and story. Okay, these are all three things. And what I've noticed, so many individuals, they're focused on the strategy, the how. Everyone's getting on the Zoom call, waiting for that next break, that next breakthrough, that next break free, that huge nugget to just go and change everything. Well, the fact of the matter is, a lot of us, we've been plugged into the Zooms, we've been plugged into the trainings, we've been plugged into all of this knowledge, and I've seen what ends up happening is we can almost turn into bookworms. We can almost turn into information overload, where it seems like we do nothing but just keep on compiling. And with no action, we literally end up with a room that's just full of papers and books. You can start to get that visual, right? So what I've come to learn is, if everybody's looking for the strategy, but nobody still really has the results, then what's the issue? Like a perfect example to think about this one right now is the body. Everybody knows how to get a six-pack. Everybody knows how to go ahead and develop themselves. But why don't most people have it? Well, the problem is it's because it's not strategy. We know the strategy to get a six-pack. We've got to eat a little bit better. We've got to hit the gym 4 or 5 days a week. We've got to have a calorie deficit, and we're going to lose weight. That's a guarantee. Drink more alkaline, eat more whole foods, and I promise you, you will start to lose weight, and you will get shredded without a doubt. That's the strategy. But everybody can go on Google and YouTube, but why don't they have the six-pack? Why aren't they building their body? It's because of the state. The state. You see, we can do all the calls, we can do all the IPAs, we can get on the trade sessions, but if we don't have the state, If we don't have that belief that we can actually win the trade, we can actually have successful products go viral, we can actually have growth and success in all different areas. This is why I tell you, we're literally putting a glass ceiling on where it is that we're going. So it took me a long time to realize it, but this is true. So if we want to level up coming into January, coming into these next 90 days, here's one of the couple things that I want to go ahead and get through. Number one is this. Think about, if I were to ask you guys, if I were to put things into perspective, here's my first question. What is our competitive edge? What is our competitive edge? What makes us different? Because in the industry that we're in, people are looking for somebody that sticks out from the masses, right? In a world where there's so much noise, everybody's putting things out. What is going to be able to separate us from everybody else? And I'll give you a couple of different ideas, right? And this is all about getting in the flow state. Number one, focusing on becoming the best version of ourselves, just like we're doing every day. That's why I love this 75-day hard challenge, because that's exactly what this is doing. The reading, the journaling, the gallon of water, changing up the diet, taking that progress picture every day. You might not notice it, but I can promise you right now, these little daily disciplines are creating a flow state, right? Drop some 5s down below if you guys have gotten to the point where you feel weird, you feel a little bit off if you don't work out, if you don't hit the gym, if we're not actually taking care of our diet a little bit more, right? Drop some 5s down below if you guys feel a little bit weird at this point. Well, this is why. Because you've started to go ahead and literally change the wiring, change the synaptic connections in the brain to start focusing more on our goals, focusing more on peace instead of pleasure. I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is one thing I've been saying over and over again almost every day. In every aspect that I do, am I choosing peace or am I choosing pleasure? Because here's what you'll notice, right? The more that we seem to choose pleasure, it might feel great in the moment, but you'll notice after that, life seems to compile, life seems to continually stack. And what I go back and tell myself is God is always watching. Whoever you believe in, the universe. So the more that we feed into our pleasures, the more that we are taking away from the results, the more that we are taking away from everything that he's ready to go ahead and give us. This is why I just go back and think about it. How many people do we know, athletes, artists, movie stars, they make all of this money. And then what happens? They feed into all of their pleasures. This is why it's almost like a blessing and a curse. People get everything they want to realize if we haven't even developed this yet, it just volumizes the person that we are. So if we're a greedy person without money, then we make a lot of money. Guess what we're going to be? We're still going to be a greedy individual. So in this season that we're all in right now, I believe this is exactly where we all need to be, to gain that perspective, to stay humble, to really appreciate the little things. So that way, when all this big abundance and quantum leaps really flows in, wide open with the doors open, we're already prepared. We already have our tools. We already have the mindset. We already have the wisdom. We already know where we're going to be investing our money. We already know what the actions that we're going to be taking. But it comes with clarity. It comes with not just focusing on the strategy. It comes with also taking time to focus on us. Because you guys notice how I end every single call? Here's what I say every single call. I say, remember, we can be, do, and have anything we can hold in our mind. We can hold it right here in our hand. Well, the B is us. The B is not strategy. The B is not do. The B is actually becoming that person first. The do is number 2. Now we go out and do the actions. Now we can make the calls. Now we can go ahead and get online. Now we can make the videos. Now we can make new connections. Now we can go ahead and expand and then have. Now we're able to have these things that we envision. Being able to travel, being able to hold that sand on the beach that we've been waiting to go ahead and see. Taking our parents to somewhere they've dreamt about. It's not have, do, be. It's not do, be, have. It's be, do, have. Right? So this is huge. Huge. I want to go ahead and get this off for this morning. But here's the last thing I want to go ahead and end off with today. And this is a really cool visual to go ahead and think about. You ready? Think about bees, right? In Florida, we have a lot of different bees over here, right? So we can get honey from a honeybee, right? We can get sugar from a sugar bee, but we cannot get success being a wannabe. Woo! I heard that this morning and I was like, that was the freaking nugget for today. Let me say that again. We can go get honey from a honeybee. We can get sugar from a sugar bee, but we cannot get success being a wannabe. So getting into flow state, to go ahead and wrap this all together for today's message, the key to go ahead and get out of the wannabe state, most time is right here. It's just the belief. Believing that we can actually go and have success, believing that we can have quantum leaps, believing that we can go and achieve massive success. And let me ask you this. Who's going to be jealous when you level up? Who's going to be jealous when your quantum leaps just come out of nowhere? Because it happens. One of the famous phrases my mentor says all the time, he says, "Are you ready for the love?" And it even comes from the Bible. One of my favorite revelations ever. Our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. Who knows the rest? Our biggest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Think about that. Most people aren't afraid of success. We're not afraid of failing. Most of us are more afraid of actually becoming successful because of everything that comes along with it. All of the love, all of the hate, all of the resistance that's going to push towards us. But this is where the magic happens. This is where the greatness truly lies. So dreamers, with that being said, that's my training for today. Super short and sweet, but to give you an idea how to go ahead and get into flow state, I'm going to touch on this today. And I'm going to touch on this a little bit later this week and on my training coming on Thursday as well for Leadership Dynasty. But it's going to be about three things. And Tony Robbins talks about this, how to really go ahead and peel back the layers of flow state. So three things, right? We talked about state, story, strategy. Here's the other three that I'm going to dig into a little bit later this week. It's going to be psychology, physiology, language, and meaning. So you guys can go ahead and write this down and remember this. Physiology, language, and meaning. And these three things is literally what allows anybody to go ahead and change their state, to go ahead and get back into flow state. Three things: changing the words that we speak, changing the meaning of the words that we say every single day, and physiology, being able to go out and actually move. This is why the 75-day challenge, we're getting in a flow state simply by doing this, hitting the gym, walking, making new connections. So I love it, fam. So proud of you guys. I love to see all of the growth, all of the evolution that's happening right now, because I'm telling you, this is the time. This is the time to make cash flow. This is the time to make multiple streams, to put ourselves in position to really get ready to go ahead and invest and get ready for the long term. We're not playing a short-term game, fam. This is for the long term. And it's safe to say we have the right access, knowledge, mentorship. I'm literally looking inside of the crypto chat this morning. We're getting plays as we speak. So, fam, I'm excited. I'm fired up. And I know that the best is yet to come. If nobody told you today, let me be the first to tell you, I'm proud of you. I see the growth. I see it every day. And remember, the little steps add up to create the bigger picture. So remember, we can be, do, and have anything we can hold in our mind. We can hold it right here in our hand. I love you, fam. Anything you need, I'm here for you. Don't be afraid to reach out to your leaders, and let's go out and turn these dreams into reality. It's game time. Let's get to work.